Okay. So
Yeah.
in respect to INEC promises that they made when they transmitted the presidential election, despite the glitches and the shortcomings and the discrepancies in the INEC results, you understand? So they gave us their words, and that by this governorship election, which is today, there will be changes. But unfortunately, so far from our record and from our field resource gathering, we discovered that it's still the same thing that happened in the presidential election that is likely happening today as well. Like for instance, some states, although the turn up was averagely low compared to the turn up that we had during the presidential election, then there were massive turn up. Everybody was, in fact, when you get to most polling units, you will see a lot of queues, and everybody just showed up, to what cast their vote. But today's governorship election, the turnout is very, very low. And this goes to say that people are not really motivated to cast their vote, actually. Then also, we also look into the incident report of some polling unit stations like Lagos and some other states in Nigeria. But specifically, we were able to find out that election violence was predominant in Lagos, and this really mitigated the chances of people from casting their vote and exercising their civil rights. So we want to examine some of these issues and see what has happened and why INEC has still failed to meet our expectation as of today's governorship election.
Yeah. Thank you very for the invitation.
Thank
Uh,
you.
it's good. We're having this media to discuss this issue. Like you said, in fact, I'm monitoring the election on 3 different devices since I came back home. Even while I was away, I was monitoring it, and I'm using 3 different platforms. Uh, and you see, these are my own opinion. Number one, when we say INEC has failed to meet up to our expectation, yeah, I think I like that. But if we say INEC has failed to meet up to its expectation, then I will disagree. Yeah, because from the body language of INEC, it seems their expectation, I am 100% don't think their expectation is a national expectation. So I feel once they have delivered some certain type of results, then they have made their expectation. Unfortunately, that is not the mandate of INEC. The INEC is supposed to be, I am not uh, saying categorically, but that's why I say it seems. Because if that is not the case, then after all the challenges that we experienced during the presidential, we expect, remember, there are laws that voters intimidation, suppression, ballot snatching. I saw a video
Yes.
where some thugs, I think that was in Edo State, snatched the ballot paper and ran off. Now, the question is, how many polling units, according to what I believe was in the INEC Act, were even cancelled due to voter suppression, intimidation, ballot snatching, and all these things in the presidential election? Do you know of anyone officially? I know there are a lot of information out there. Okay, there are a lot of data out there, but how many officially did we hear? Did we list? Because when you check all the polling units, the results are there, isn't it? So did you see anyone? They said cancelled. I think maybe I saw 1 or 2 cancelled. But explicitly, when you are talking about technology at this level, you expect to be able to provide data that communicates, data that aligns with even the acts of your organization, of your institution. Okay?
Definitely.
And so because those things were not done, we still have a reputation. I knew to this election. Now, I was just speaking to a friend from Cardinal States, where I also have a lot of interest. And the first thing he told me is that too much of manipulation. That was the first thing he told me. And I mean, it's expected. He said too much of manipulations. Now, we are not in any way saying that any political party is angelic or free from manipulation, but INEC had the sole responsibility of ensuring, all right, of ensuring that elections are credible, free, and fair. Yeah. Now, while INEC is not responsible for behavioral management of the country, INEC cannot stop people from snatching ballot boxes. INEC cannot stop people that wants to put their head in front of a barrel of a gun. I mean, you know, you are going to meet some form of nemesis, but you still decide to go and carry snatch ballot box. So INEC cannot stop all these kind of things. But what did we expect INEC to do? We expect INEC, all right, to execute its laws, to execute its deterrence. We expect INEC to, okay, for example, I strongly believe that part of the funds that was released for INEC has a lot to do with logistics, and they assured that this is what they need, all right? And I don't think the 176,000 polling units will lack security.
Yes.
All right. So all those things was captured in the budget. 300 billion, sir. It's not a small money.
It's not a small money.
It's not that money. No, you need to think of it jokingly. You can literally give every Nigerian 1 billion and it will be left. Come on, my brother. This is not a joke. This is real statistics.
Yes.
So I have been probably on the platform. We've been noticing some results. Of course, like you said, there are low turnout. No, I saw some pictures from Opera Square, I think Enugu or somewhere. And normally we know that the enthusiasm that visits gubernatorial election is lesser than presidential. However, there were a lot of voters apathy, especially maybe people believe that during the presidential election things didn't go. Anytime I tell my friends that things didn't go as people expected, they automatically start talking about because my candidate didn't win. Of course, there's a limit at which you can reason with people. You understand? Someone like me, by God's special grace, I have studied the democracy of a lot of countries. And I've seen that in every country, all right, there are those who position themselves to create the balance. For example, if you look at America, on paper, there are more registered Democrats than Republicans. On paper.
You are right.
But why is it that the Democrats don't win an election? Because the fact that you register as a Democrat doesn't mean you always go to vote for the Democrats.
Sure.
So, for me, I am a swing voter. Some of my friends from the APC were asking me, who do I support? And I said, you don't want to hear my honest opinion. And I said, let me tell you my honest opinion. I said, if Sanwo-Olu, Gbadebo don't belong to any political party, you know what I'm trying to say? Yes. If they don't belong to any political party, I will probably support the Sanwo-Olu. Why? Simply because I feel he might have more experience in handling Lagos. Gbadebo has excellent ideas. I said that might be one of the reasons why I might like her. Maybe based on experience, because this is me that supported the Peter Obi, and I'm supporting Peter Obi's spirit, soul, and body. I owe no apology to anybody. But why is it that I say if they don't belong to a party? Now listen, you cannot be building a political coalition. Please, sir, tell me, if Sanwo-Olu belongs to Labour Party and Gbadebo belongs to APC, do you think any member of APC will advise anybody to vote for somebody from a different political party?
No.
Thank you. So if I say that, okay, because I strongly think Nigeria needs a thought force, it is very healthy for our democracy. It's not sentiment. All right? It is very healthy for our democracy. So look at what I'm using. Not for me, not for Peter Obi, who does not know that Of course, Peter Obi cannot always be the leader of the obedient.
Yes.
Okay, during SARS, was there a Peter Obi there? The
No.
obedient are a cluster of people who will always keep on pushing a political agenda of change.
Change, yeah.
Currently, and even Peter Obi himself said it, that not every obedient are member of the political party. But something is happening now. A lot of obedience are now understanding that soon, you understand, they need to crystallize the obedient structure into a strong, sustainable party structure. And I know many obedience will not go to APC. They will not go to PDP.
Yeah.
So common sense means that, okay, if 60% of the obedient, because just like the case of Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton, Trump, a lot of Democrats who wanted Bernie Sanders eventually didn't vote because Bernie Sanders didn't get the primary. So if some of those obedience say that, well, if it's not Peter Obi, they are gone, fine. But there are some 60% of them who might eventually go into the Labour Party. You understand? To say, okay, let us build this strong party. So don't you think it will be unreasonable for you to campaign for the candidate of another party simply because you claim he's more competent than your party? So when you are looking at it from a party perspective, I will go for a Gbadebo.
Okay.
Because if I don't, then I am destroying a party that I want to build.
Yes.
But if you are looking at it on individual, there is nothing wrong with Sanwo-Olu. Of course, he might have his own thing, but when you check some things like community health and one or two things he has achieved. And beside that, I will not pretend to you that I know much about Gbadebo. But once it comes to party, APC will never advise you to vote for another candidate in another party because of competence. Why? Because they understand the game of power. And I don't blame them. They are building their own coalition. They are building their own party. There's nothing wrong with that. All right? Yes. So, finally, based on some of the results that have been coming in, like you said, I think it was I was seeing some I posted on the chat group. Quite a number that I've been seeing in some polling units in Lagos. As at now, quite a number I'm seeing. I'm not saying what's out there. The one I'm seeing, how the Labour Party in the lead. But then some other people say that those are Labour Party strongholds. And just like what the Americans say, it is too early to call. So generally, that is just my view about the election. But I don't think INEC will complain about this election because it seems to follow the template of what they consider as a good election. Because the election results, that is what have they said. So when I say INEC, probably I'm talking about some of the stuff. Remember, I said something that I don't have any evidence that the chairman of INEC decided to rig election. I said that I don't have any evidence. Maybe people had their own compromise left, right, and center. So when I say INEC, I'm not talking about the institution. I'm talking about those principal players who are supposed to do things properly, and they have actually not done it well.